Let's get exotic.
The Amazon PPC strategies I'm about to share with you are for advanced sellers looking for an unfair advantage. These are the big guns. Any NPC with a Wi-Fi connection can go in and create a keyword targeted sponsored product campaign. But the campaigns I'm about to walk you through,
only a true Amazon Jedi can wield these.
One of them is so powerful it literally blocks out all of your competitors, allowing you to completely dominate an entire niche. I'm Chris Rawlings. I'm one of the single top spenders of Amazon ads on the platform with over $2.8 million in monthly Amazon PPC ad spend. And not only am I about to show you some super Jedi Amazon PPC techniques, but I'm also going to send you back with a resource that gives you a step-by-step of how to set these up so that you can reference it while you're setting them up back home. Okay, the first one that you guys are probably not doing is sponsored brand video campaigns with category targeting. This is a unique combination that can produce really amazing results. Take a look at these campaigns. I'm looking at the last month's data here. So this top performing sponsored brand video campaign here is a category targeted campaign targeting the same category that we're in. So this is a bra pad and we're targeting bra pads. And you can see we've got a 20% ACoS with this campaign. This is great. And the reason is you have sponsor brand video, which if done really well, can get you significantly cheaper clicks. And we're targeting the very same category that we're in. And here's a pattern. This is something that's been playing out with Amazon for a while now. Amazon likes when you give it more leeway. You're gonna find that a lot of the campaign types that I talked through today are not exact style campaign targeting. They're allowing Amazon to have more control. This is actually a pattern across all advertising platforms. They want more flexibility so that their algorithms can work. It makes sense, right? So when you do category targeting instead of product targeting or keyword targeting, it gives Amazon a lot of flexibility, and a lot of times it can produce better results because Amazon has the flexibility to show it where it thinks it will best perform rather than us thinking that we're smarter than the algorithm here. So you can see we produce a significant amount of sales here. I think we got about 800 orders, a little more than that, at a 20% ACoS over the past month with just this one single campaign. That's pretty incredible, right? Take a look at the next two here, and then we'll go into how to set up this type of campaign. We have a sponsor brand video category targeting in a different category. So this is a complementary category, not the same category. Again, we're getting great results here. Not quite as many sales. We got just over 400 sales at a 23% ACoS. I mean, that's an amazing ACoS, especially if the sales velocity helps us to rank. Those are profitable sales right off the get-go, let alone the impact that would have on rank. Okay, next one down, we have another sponsored brand video category targeting a different category, yet another complementary category. And again, we're getting great economics on that, just over 20% ACoS. And we're getting less sales than the other ones, 125 sales over the past month, but still really good economics. Definitely a good campaign to run. All right, so how do we set this up? We go to sponsored brands, click continue. Put in your daily budget. I've got a whole video on daily budgets you can check out on my channel. You're gonna click drive page visits, not grow impression share. Click video. You're gonna leave it on product detail page. You're gonna add just one single product. You're gonna remove cost control. You're gonna select don't increase bids for an audience. You're gonna go to product targeting, and then you're gonna select categories. And then here's where you're gonna add your category. And I would do just one at a time. Each campaign should be a different category, especially if they're very important ones. The only exception to this would be if you want to try a bunch of categories that you think are really, really small and you want to bundle them together, but normally you just want to do one category per campaign. You won't need to do any product targeting exclusions for now. You could do that in the future when you see something not performing well. And then down here, you're going to add your video asset and then launch your campaign. The next advanced strategy is using sponsored brands for brand defense. This can be extremely powerful to keep other competitors from sniping your sales. Plus, it has the added benefit of a lot of times it produces really lean sales in and of itself. Now, a lot of sellers are used to doing this in sponsored products by targeting their own keywords and targeting their own ASINs for keyword targeted and product targeted sponsored product campaigns. But sponsored brands is actually a lot of times an even more effective way to do brand defense. Let me show you how we're doing this on one of the brands in our portfolio that we've grown to about 3 times its size over the past year. You can see it's doing millions a year in revenue, and it just continues to grow. Take a look at what happens on Amazon when I search Brita filter replacement. Brita is a huge water filter company, right? but they don't have brand defense campaigns sponsored brands. So another company pops up in search results instead of them as the first thing shoppers see when people search their brand name. And they're doing this because they're probably making a lot of money from this ad. The way to prevent this is by having good sponsored brands defense campaigns. Let's also take a look at the Brita listing, and I'll show you how sponsored brand defense campaigns affects the listing. Now, if I scroll down on the listing here, we get to these videos at the bottom. These are sponsored brand ads, and they are all advertising somebody else's product because this company, Brita, is not good at sponsored brand defense. This is part of the reason why we run ads for one of their competitors, and we've been able to more than triple in size over the last year because we are much better at this. Brita, if you're watching this, get someone better to run your ads. Okay, let's take a look at some of these campaigns. I'm looking at just the last month's data here. Here's one. This is a sponsored brand video campaign going to a product listing, and we are targeting with broad match, broad modified, in fact, any term that includes our brand name. So to do that, you put a plus in front of your brand name, and that ensures that Amazon always keeps your brand name in there, but will advertise that on any term that includes that name. So this is why broad modified is so critical and so helpful. I have a whole video on this. It's called match types. It's on my channel. You can find it. You'll learn about broad modified and the other 3 match types. But basically you put a plus in front of the word that you want to keep, and then Amazon has the leeway with any other word it wants to put in, but it has to include that word. So we put plus our brand name, and then Amazon shows us for anything people search with our brand name in it. It's super powerful. You can see we're getting a 21% ACoS, and in a consumables category like this, that's an incredible ACoS. I mean, people are paying like upwards of way over 100, 200% because they know that they're going to purchase over and over and over again. This is a consumable product. And over the last month, it made just shy of 8K in sales, which is fine. We're not really here for the sales. We're just here to keep people from taking our sales. It's also great, and it's a great benefit to get sales at a low ACoS, but honestly, we would do it even if we weren't getting any sales, right? We're just blocking other competitors from stealing our sales organically when people search a term. Here's another version of this. This is a sponsored brand campaign that's targeting all of our other products. So this is to make sure that we show up on all our product pages with sponsored brand ads. And this one, you could see the ACoS is not quite as good, but still for this category, great ACoS actually. Made a significant amount of sales over the past month, like 17,000 in sales. But in general, again, we're just trying to take up space. That's the point of these campaigns, so that other people don't snipe our sales. We get 2 benefits with this. There's the unseen benefit that has nothing to do with the sales. That's keeping people from stealing sales on whatever product we're advertising on. And then there's also the add benefit of actually making some nice low ACoS sales. Okay, let's walk through how to create this type of campaign. So there's a few ways to do this, but in general, you're gonna go to sponsor brands, put in a budget. You can check the video on my channel all about daily budgets if you wanna know what to budget. Click drive page visits. Okay, so actually here's the thing. You could do either drive page visits or grow impression share for this one. If you really want to dominate all your pages, grow impression share, which is VCPM instead of CPC. This can be a powerful way to just completely dominate your own spaces because Amazon prefers it. But your default is going to be drive page visits. It's only if you're having trouble getting impressions or getting views or getting clicks that you want to move over to this. Click video, click product detail page, click the product that you want to advertise, remove cost control. And then here's where we get to the 2 ways to do this. One way is keyword targeting your own brand. So you click keyword targeting, click enter list, unclick phrase, unclick exact, leave broad, and type in plus your brand name. Not your brand, just put your actual brand name. And Amazon will then advertise it for anything people type in that includes my brand's name. Then the other way to do this is you're gonna do product targeting, and you're going to input a list here by clicking individual products, enter list of all your other products. This advertises your sponsor brand video on every other product. You don't need any negative targeting with this. You can put that in as time goes on. You're gonna input your actual video, and then you can launch your campaign. By the way, if you don't have a sponsor brand video, just make one. There's so many ways to do this. Make one at home, hire someone to do it. You could do the cheap way by getting someone on Fiverr, or you could do the legit way by hiring someone like my company, Sophie Society, to do it for you. Get one way or another, because sponsor brand video is an X factor in a lot of different ways on Amazon right now this year. Okay, the next strategy is less of a campaign setup and more of an overall strategy, which is full niche domination. This works really well when you know you're converting really well for a keyword, you know the economics are great for you in that niche, you've already dialed in the feedback loop between your PPC data and how the specific customer avatars are engaging with your products. So you know which particular search term intents are performing really, really well for you, and you've dialed them in. Now you can go full domination style. So here's one of our brands. We actually dominate so many spaces. If you search this keyword, gardening apron for women with pockets, we dominate, everything. And it's not just this keyword. We have a few really particular keywords for this brand that we just know we need to dominate entirely. So you can see we're the first thing people see with a sponsored brand video campaign. Then we're the next thing people see with ranking #1 in search results. Then if you scroll down, you'll see that the first video that you see is also us. We're just all over page 1. We have other results in here as well. Here's one, here's another one. So we just took over page 1 because we knew it was really, really good for us, and we went all in. So this is called niche domination. Now you're likely actually not going to do this for every single keyword in your niche. You're going to find the ones with the buyer intent that matches your highest CTR and highest CVR buyer intent. So in our case, it had to do with the pockets. So anything with pockets, we want to totally dominate because we know we convert super well on that, and we just want to take over. So the 3 main ways to do this are: 1, top of search sponsored brand video campaign. So to get top of search, the best way to do this is to set up a video campaign that goes to a storefront rather than going to a product detail page. So let's walk through how to do that. So inside the ad console and sponsored brands, I'm going to click continue. I'm not going to go through all of the settings in here just to not bore you guys, but I'm going to talk about the critical part, which is this part right here. When you hit sponsored brand video or video ad format, here you have 2 choices: product detail page or store on Amazon. This is what happens when the customer clicks your ad. Where do they go? Do they go to your product detail page, or do they go to the store on Amazon? You want to click store on Amazon if you want to get top of search placements. Most of the top of search placements, not all, but most of them are reserved for ads that go to the storefront. So this is the way to get your ad top of search. Okay, the next one is a sponsored product campaign top of search. So in this case, we're already ranking organically top of search, but if you wanted to force your way into here so that people see you and only you at the top of search and you just dominate all these placements, you got to get a top of search sponsored product campaign going so that you show up just like this. Now, how do we create a campaign like that? We're going to go to sponsored products, click continue. And then I'm not going to go through all the setup here. I have a video on bids. I have a video on budgets. You can check out that in my channel. I also have a whole full walkthrough of how to set up sponsored product ads in general. But high level, you're going to click manual targeting in the targeting tab, and then you're going to click keyword targeting in the manual targeting tab, and then go to enter list. You're going to unclick broad, unclick phrase, leave exact, and then put the keywords that you want to make sure to show up top of search for. Then down here is where the real magic happens. So you're gonna start with a relatively minor adjustment on top of search, bid adjuster, which would be like 30%. And then as time goes on, when you see how much placement you're getting top of search while you're optimizing your campaigns, you're gonna continually increase this as you see that those top of search campaigns are performing well and that you're getting, good impressions and the ACoS is manageable for you. Okay, and lastly, we have this ad that's showing up rest of search. This ad you set up as a sponsored brand video campaign going to a product detail page. So we'll go to sponsor brands, and down here in ad format, you're going to click video, and then you're going to click product detail page. And this is how you set up campaigns that are sponsored brand video that end up going to the product detail page and showing up in rest of search. These can show up top of search, but it's just way less likely than a sponsored brand video campaign that goes to the storefront. All right, this next strategy, I know you guys already expected this to be in the advanced video. Yes, it is day parting. So I'm probably not gonna be sharing this day parting the same way that you've learned it before, because there's really 2 ways to do it. Let's talk through it. So first of all, what is it? Day parting is when you're adjusting bids throughout the day and or week to optimize performance, usually based on the click-through rate of that time of day and the conversion rate of that time of day, so that we can optimize our bids for when the shoppers are most likely to click and to actually buy. When you do this with days instead of hours, a lot of times that's called week parting, but hey, tomato, potato. When should you use it? Okay, now look. People freak out over day parting. It's really weird, the obsession inside the Amazon seller community about day parting. There's so many other tactics that are so much more important than day parting, but for whatever reason, everyone thinks day parting is like the answer to their problems. Yes, it can actually improve performance, but it doesn't move the needle nearly as much as just really good campaign management, bid adjustment, keyword graduation, keyword negation, and your standard fundamental activities inside the ad console. So this is an advanced tactic, and all that said, it can produce results, but you don't want to do it before taking care of some of the other stuff. Like if you're not yet running sponsored brand video campaigns because you don't have video creative, but you're trying to get into day parting, what are you doing? Okay, like back up, my dude. You just got to get the fundamentals done first. Getting a sponsored brand video done and running is so much more high leverage than trying to pick apart the bids in a particular day, all right? Okay, there's two ways to do this. One is automation through software. The other is a manual approach and using Amazon's own ad console and rules. So here's what it looks like using a software. This particular software is Atomic, which allows you to do day parting based on the hour of the day. And you could see the sales throughout the hour of the day. It gives you a nice little visual here. And then it allows you to create rules so that you can raise and lower your bid throughout these days. The problem with this is a lot of times it's less about the bid and more about the bid adjuster. And a lot of these day parting softwares don't allow you to adjust the bid adjuster throughout the day, like top of search or rest of search or product page bid adjuster. It only allows you to change the bid. So sometimes it can actually harm you more than it can help you, but we've had hundreds of cases actually where day parting did have an impact. Sometimes it has a really significant impact. I'm going to share with you guys an example. I almost don't want to share it with you guys because there's such a weird obsession with this strategy in the market and it's really not the most impactful thing. However, a lot of times it can be very time consuming and there's so many other high leverage ways to do it, but I'm going to share the example with you guys anyway. Okay, and here's the other way, which is the manual approach where you just download the data from Amazon and you throw it in a spreadsheet to give you a bit. Now, this is something that I recommend all of you guys do because it just really kind of helps you visualize what is happening with your shoppers and get into your shopper's mind. If you color code it, it gives you a great breakdown of where your sales are coming from and what your CTR, your click-through rate, and what your CVR, your conversion rate, are throughout the day. And you can see sometimes it's pretty different. So this is the way to see it by hour, and then there's also a way to see it by day. Now, how do we get this data? Here's what you do. You're gonna log into the Amazon Ads Manager, select Measurements and Reporting, click on Sponsored Ad Reports, then choose Create Report. And then you're gonna go to Sponsored Products, Campaign Report, click Hourly Time Limit. Last 14 days is what you're gonna wanna select, and then click the blue button, Run Report. Now, once you have this, you're gonna download the Sponsored Product Campaign Report, upload that report into a Google Sheet, click on Insert, then choose Pivot Table, and now you're gonna pivot out the hourly data in a table by adding columns specifically for click-through rate, conversion rate, sales, clicks, and ACoS percentage. Then add conditional formatting, and this is how you get this pretty, color-coded format that you see in front of me right here. So here's what it looks like when you're setting up day parting using software. You have specific times of day. You have specific times of the day and particular days of the week that you're going to increase a bid by a particular percentage. This particular software is Atomic, the PPC management software that Helium 10 spearheaded. And here's what you do using Amazon itself. So you go into the ad manager, click Create New Campaign. Then once the campaign has been set up, open up the campaign and click on the tab Budget Rules, then click Add Budget Rule. Okay, now I hesitate to even show you guys this because I know you're gonna get even more obsessed with day parting, but here's one way that day parting actually helped us recently. We were just struggling, trying a bunch of different strategies for a brand, so we decided kind of out of desperation to do day parting. It was actually more week parting, and we were able to increase the sales pretty dramatically in this case. Now, this isn't what happens every time. Normally you see marginal gains with day parting. In this particular case, I think it was just like the straw that broke the camel's back, or whatever the good version of that is. What's a good version of straw that broke the camel's back? It was just the tactic that worked in this particular case. And in this case, when he did the analysis, there was actually a dramatic difference between the conversion rate on the weekend and the conversion rate during the weekdays. So all we did was decrease the spend during the weekend when the conversion rate was very low, and we allocated that budget more towards the weekdays when the conversion rate was much higher. It's not always like this, but in this case, for whatever reason, in this category, there was a pretty dramatic difference. And you can see the sales difference here was pretty significant. Okay, this next one doesn't seem sexy, but it is absolutely critical for anyone that's a consumables brand. And even if you're not consumable, it's good for you to know this because it allows you to understand how your economics will play out over time. And if your economics, even if they don't seem sustainable now, if they will even out and reach an equilibrium in the future. This concept is called LACoS, Lifetime ACoS. This is something we started doing internally for our consumables brands because we realized that it was so much more important than ACoS itself because the repeat purchase rate is what really matters. In a consumables brand, normally you actually are making the profit not on the first sale, but later on after the second or third sale in really highly competitive categories. So your lay cost, your lifetime ACoS, is more important than your ACoS because it's less about the first sale and more about what your ACoS is based on the average repeat purchase rate. Hang with me here, guys. I know I'm getting a little nerdy. Here's how you get this data. You go to brands, brand analytics, go to repeat purchase behavior, and then down here, you're gonna see what percentage of your total units are coming from repeat purchases. Now, this is interesting data, but in order to get lay costs, we need to know on average how many units a new customer will purchase over a year on average across the whole product. And to do that, you need to do a little bit of math actually. So you need to take the data from Amazon's brand analytics and plug it in. And basically all you're doing is some simple math to suss out the average units per customer. And you can see in this case, our average units per customer is 2.5. To get our lay cost or lifetime ACoS, we're just taking our average ACoS of all the campaigns for the product and dividing that by the average units per customer. So we know for new to brand customers, what percentage of their total purchases after the first ad purchase we're actually spending on ads. And you can see the numbers are sometimes dramatically different. Now, for you guys that aren't consumables, your average units per customer is gonna be significantly lower than this. It might be 1.3 or 1.5 or something like that. But what this tells you is the delta between the ACoS and the lay cost. It tells you how far you are from your actual equilibrium. Because when you're in the beginning of a brand's launch and in the beginning of a product launch, there's not enough people that actually know the product and have purchased it before to come back, search it, and purchase it again without an ad. So sometimes like your economics don't look so good in the beginning and you're like, man, is this gonna get better? This is a good way to find out, is it gonna get better? Because once you have some data on the average number of units purchased by a customer, that will tell you over time, okay, so more and more people are coming back to buy my product. I know even though my ACoS might be high, my lay cost is low. So over time, my economics are gonna get better and better. So this is kind of what that looks like. You can see this purple is the ACoS going down over time, and this orange is the sales going up over time. In the beginning of this consumables brand's launch, the ACoS is really high, but as time went on, more and more repeat purchases kicked in, and it reached an equilibrium in the 60s, which is pretty normal for a consumables brand, and this is still totally profitable for this brand because a lot of these campaigns lead to organic ranking. So even though the ad sales are going up here, without the ACoS going up, you don't even see in this graph the organic sales are going up parabolically. Here's another example of the same thing. You can see the ACoS in the beginning of the timeline, it's very choppy, it's very high, and then as time goes on, it gets lower and lower and lower, and the sales go up and up and up as the ACoS goes down and finds its equilibrium. So sometime earlier on, you might be like, oh man, I don't know if I can sustain this. But if you see that the average purchase rate is pretty high and your lay cost is actually low, your lay cost over time gets closer and closer to your ACoS as more of your purchases come from repeat purchases. Here's another example of the same thing. Really choppy, volatile ACoS in the beginning, and then it goes down and down and gets more and more consistent and predictable as time goes on as our sales ramp up and up and up and up. By the way, if you want this simple calculator, I'm happy to send it to you. This is just a template we use inside for our portfolio brands. Just email me at hello@sophiesociety.com and type in lay cost calculator and I'll send it over to you. Okay, the next advanced strategy is what we call a step campaign. This is a self-targeted product placement campaign. And what this basically does, I have a whole video on this on my channel. It's actually, I think it's the first video I ever uploaded. It targets the very same product that you're advertising. And since Amazon doesn't allow you to show the same ad for your product on the very same listing that you're advertising, it kind of like glitches Amazon's system. And what it does is it effectively works, as far as we can tell, as instant retargeting. So when people land on your listing, they then can see your ad almost immediately after leaving your listing. And this can produce really low ACoS sales. It usually doesn't produce a very high volume of sales, but it can produce very, very lean and effective sales because it's like an instant retargeting. It's pretty cool. This step campaign that we set up had a ROAS of 7.7. That equates to, I don't know, somewhere around 12 or 13% ACoS. So you can see these campaigns don't produce a huge quantity of sales, but you spend a little, you get a lot. And it's a low volume of very lean sales. Okay, how do we set up a campaign like this? You're gonna go to sponsored products, select a product, and then critically here, you're gonna copy the ASIN of the product, and then go down here to manual targeting, product targeting, and you are going to click individual products, exact, unclick expanded, click enter list, and then paste in the very same ASIN that you just selected up here to advertise. This is the key. So you take that ASIN and just paste it in here and leave just that, add that as the target. If this is your first time setting up a campaign like this, you might want to do dynamic bids up and down just so you know where the bid will be. It gives Amazon a little more flexibility. Then you can move to down only. Inside the bid adjustments, you can mess with these later as you see how it performs, but in general, you're gonna wanna push top of search for this type of campaign. So you could maybe start with 30% top of search and then you could adjust it over time. Pop in your daily budget. If you start with 10 or 20 bucks, you may or may not hit that because like I said, this is a low volume campaign. And then click launch and you can adjust the budget and the bid over time. This has been one of our secret weapons to produce super lean sales on all our brands in our portfolio for the last 2 years. If you wanna go deeper in this campaign type, look up STPP campaigns. It's the first video I ever uploaded on my channel. I'm pretty sure it's called like Inception ad, something. You'll find it there. Phew, that was a lot, huh? Okay, in the beginning of the video, remember guys, I promised you that I would give you a resource that actually showed you step-by-step how to set up every one of these different types of campaigns and all of our favorite campaign setups. And this is that resource right here. So take a look at this resource. It has sponsored product ads, sponsored brand ads, and sponsored display ads. And in each of these different ad types, we have all of our favorite campaign configurations for performance, for brand defense, for research, meaning finding new keyword targets, product targets, and for ranking. And in each of these different campaign types, if you zoom in here, if you click the plus, let's take a look at single keyword targeted campaigns, exact match. If I click the plus here, this literally shows me what to put in every field as I'm setting up this campaign and has a video walkthrough link so that you can watch the campaign being set up live in real time. This is super useful for anybody that wants a referenceable guide for how to set up all of the best performing campaigns on Amazon now from one of the top spenders on the Amazon platform, period. If you want to get that resource, email hello@sophiesociety.com with the subject line campaign cheat sheet, and we will send it back to you. And if you want to talk to me and my team about partnering with you to take over your Amazon PPC to grow you profitably and increase profitability on your brand, click the link in the description of this video, sophiesociety.com, and you can apply there. And if you want to check out that video that goes deep into this Amazon retargeting glitch for step campaigns that I talked about, click right here and you can watch that. I'll see you over there.